Hi everybody, it's Sarah Cray with Let's Make Art, and we do different watercolor projects every single week. We break it down step by step so you can follow along, whether you're a beginner or intermediate, or maybe you're really good at watercolor and you just don't feel like making up a project.
Yeah.
I get it. So today we are painting the American flag. Oh! Do you know what I would actually want?
Yeah, I was just thinking.
No, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna look in the distance.
Okay.
And you're gonna do an American flag waving.
Okay.
Right here. You're gonna edit that in.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Can you do that?
I can do that.
Yes. Okay, so we are using two colors today. We are using red and Tahoe blue. Just those two, red, white, and blue.
Easy peasy.
White is the paper. We don't even need that color.
Oh.
And two brushes, round 6 and a round 2. And we have an outline for this project. You can get it on our website for free if you don't have the kit or subscribe. Oh wait, I gotta do the little marks. Sorry, I was getting ahead of myself.
That's all right.
Two colors, Tahoe blue and red. Woo woo.
Oh.
Okay. The two paintbrushes we are using are around 6 and around 2. We have an outline for this project. You can get it on our website. I know I already said all these things, but I gotta go through the motions again.
Listen, it's okay. We're just here to help it make easier.
We use graphite paper to transfer these. If you want to use, there's a lot of long lines. If you want to use a ruler to help you get super straight lines, go for it. I just freehanded this.
It's a lot of lines.
It is a lot of lines, and I don't mind if my lines aren't perfect. You know what I mean?
It gives you that wave look that you're wanting me to edit.
They're like, is it moving in the wind?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
That's what's going on. Also, there's a lot of little stars, and you might get frustrated because it's actually really hard, even when you're tracing, doing a perfect star. Have you tried it? It's really hard. Look at, you can see how hard it is because these are wonky.
I have traced nary a star in my life.
It's hard. It's really hard, actually. Don't get stressed out if your stars look a little bit funny because people understand it's an American flag. Yeah. So you're fine. One thing I am going to do though is I am going to tape the edges of my flag. So I'm going to do that now. This is just painter's tape. That's all it is. I'm just going to go along, and this will just help me keep a clean edge. Press it down right there. I'm just going to go on all 4 sides. Oh, well, that's all right. Some of these end somewhere longer. It's okay. Oh, that's not a straight edge though. Hold on. Let's see if we can make this straight.
I'm having deja vu.
Okay. Or you can use washi tape. If you have washi tape at home, you just want a tape that won't rip your paper. Even with painter's tape though, you gotta remove it carefully because it can still rip. You gotta be gentle. And this project, we have 2 steps. That's it. Keenan's face was like, what?
Paint the flag.
Paint flag. Step 1. No, step 1, we're just going to do the blue part of the stars, and step 2, we're going to do the stripes. That's it.
Easy.
And this project is fun and a little bit time-consuming because we're using our round 2 for the stars, and we're doing a lot of like work around there. But it's a great project for you to understand how you can fully use the brushes to your advantage. For example, we're going to use the smaller brushes for the smaller areas, and then when we move to the red stripes, we're going to be using the side of our round 6 to get a thicker line. So it's good. It's a good thing. Also, it's just fun to be able to make your own decor to put around your house. You know what I mean? So let's get started. I'm going to grab my round 2. I'm going to get it wet. I'm going to grab some Tahoe blue, and I'm just going to start making my way around my, making my way downtown, walking fast. I wish you could see Keenan dancing. And so as you can see, I'm just kind of outlining the star. Okay, and then I like to, and this is where it's important, remember to pick up water and use water to spread around the color, because that's how you're gonna get some value changes. We don't want a flat wash. I mean, if you want a flat wash, you can do that. That's your choice as the artist. But I wanted the variation in value just for a little bit more visual interest. So that's why I'm using water. Also, another thing that you can do on this is to do some wet on wet. So when it's nice and wet like this, you can just grab some paint and just drop it in. And then spread that around or leave it, or it's up to you. We actually might fast forward through some of this, you know, because I'm like a 10th done.
Maybe I'll use like some patriotic music while you paint it instead of our usual travel sound.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Maybe I'll sing it.
I would love that. He's laughing, but Keenan actually has a really great singing voice. Okay, we finished step 1. We made it through. You guys did great. Now we're gonna move on to step 2. We're gonna put in our red stripes. So I'm gonna switch to my round 6. I'm gonna get it wet. I know I moved my paper. Is it still okay?
We're still on the stars?
No, we're moving to the stripes.
No, I know. But the camera's still on the stars.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead and move it.
Okay. Now the reason why I like to move my paper is because it's a lot easier for me to like do brush strokes this way at an angle instead of like perfectly this way. You can adjust your paper to whatever is comfortable for you. And I'm just gonna go for it, okay? So what I like to do is I like to try and make my thin line first at the bottom. So then I have a a stop to where my line ends. To do a thin line, it actually doesn't have to be thin. It can be thick, just as long as it's on the inside portion. And just the only thing I want you guys to remember is do not rest your wrist and place your weight on your wrist, because then you will be limited in how long you can go. You can graze your wrist on your paper, or you can even put your wrist down, but don't have your weight. It's kind of like if you play piano, you're not supposed to rest your wrists down, you're supposed to keep them up. It's kind of that same idea where it's just like, no, we're going to actually move our arm and our shoulder. We're not going to move our wrist. That's how we're going to do this. So I'm just going to start by putting in the line, like so. And then I like to take water and spread it out. Now you want to work fast to try and blend out the line. And be careful when you get close to the blue. And then if you want some value changes, I like to do water drops or a little bit of color drops in there, just for value variation. But it's up to you. If you want it totally even and even wash, you can do that. And then I'm just going to keep doing that same thing where I'm just going to do my line. Again, if you want to use a ruler for this part, you're welcome to. I'm okay if my lines get a little bit wonky.
Watch your
Head.
Oh, yeah.
And then drop in some color. Use water to spread it out. Yep. Your paper is going to start to warp a little bit as you do this part. That's okay. And you might be asking, if you're not familiar with watercolor, why paper warps. So this paper that we're using is Canson cold press, 140 pounds. That's this paper here. It's a pretty decent paper for the cost. However, it's not 100% cotton, which is why it does not feel as thick as maybe some other 140 pound cold press paper. Something like there's Arches, there's Stonehenge, there's Bee paper, there's Strathmore, there's a bunch of other brands. Now, the heavier weight the paper is and the like cottony it is, the more expensive it is. So like Arches is a fabulous paper, it's very expensive. And for me, I don't like being intimidated by a piece of paper when I go to paint. And so when I have really expensive paper, that's what it does to me, is I just like kind of freeze up. And I'm like, oh, I'm afraid to mess this up because then I just wasted $4 or whatever. So that's actually why I like the Canson. I use the Canson. However, but because it's not 100% cotton, it does warp and buckle a little bit more than maybe the nicer papers. It also creates blooms, which is what these like textures, like these hard lines are that we have over here. It actually tends to make those a little bit more, which is also why I like it, because I love blooms. I think it makes work super visually interesting. But for some people who want really smooth transitions and they don't like blooms and they don't like if the paper starts to warp a little, then maybe try another brand. We do carry Arches on Let's Make Art. I think we actually also just started ordering Stonehenge, which will be available soon. So you guys can try other paper and see what you prefer. It's really just personal preference. I like to think of paper as like a dog breed, where it's just like, yeah, you have your favorites, but like you can't, if Keenan's a pug guy and I'm a lab guy, I'm not gonna think Keenan's bad for being a pug guy. What kind of dog guy are you? Sorry.
Am I a pug guy?
I'm a pug girl. So that's what came to my mind. What's your favorite?
I feel like pugs kind of look like they got hit in the face.
Yeah,
so
they're hilarious.
Okay, yeah, sure, funny. They're funny dogs. Actually, if I were to choose a dog, it'd either be a pit bull,
okay,
or a bulldog, and like a.
Oh my gosh, I love bulldogs.
I love bulldogs. I was a bulldog in the military. We have every unit has at basic training has a different mascot, and ours was bulldog.
Oh, cool. I thought you were saying that you're like, I was a freaking bulldog in the military.
They gave me this pill, and I transformed into a bulldog.
I'm like, are you telling military secrets right now, Keenan?
Nope.
But anyways, that's how I like to think of like art materials, where it's just like a lot of people are sometimes like, oh, you're painting with that, and it's just kind of like, don't think that way about other people, and don't let other people think that way about you. It's just like, whatever, that's what I like, you know? It does not define your worth as an artist or a creative, but it can be, it is scary though, especially if you're new. Like, you feel bad if you're just like, oh yeah, I guess I do like this paper, and then you're like, does that mean I'm not a serious artist? And then I realize, who cares? I don't care. I like what I like, you know? And then what you can do, which I do sometimes too, is sometimes I'll just use my Canson to play, or to, you know, just kind of like if I want to try something new. And then if I'm like gifting something, or if it's going to be an original that I'm selling, I'll use the nicer materials. So you can do that too, where I'll use my Canson just to play around or to make stuff for myself. And then if I want, I don't know, a different version, I'll use the Arches paper or something. Or if I'm doing something that's super water heavy, like a landscape, then I'll use a heavier weight and 100% cotton paper. Are there different yeah, there's different cat breeds like there are with dog breeds, right?
Correct.
There's just not as many. I made that up, I don't know.
Half as many cat breeds as there are dog breeds.
I don't know. I just can think of like Persian cats, Siamese. What, right? We are Siamese, if you please.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a cat breed, right?
Right.
There's another
is calico a color, or is that a brand of cat?
Calico?
Calico.
I don't know. Wow, I know very little about cats right now.
Well, I don't think anyone, I think they're a myth. No one really knows about cats.
Cats are a myth?
Yes.
Well,
like North Dakota.
Yep. Okay, this is looking pretty cool. Just keep on keeping on. Emails. So many. Because you always look at your phone like, friends are trying to talk to me, and it's like, nope. Work. Spam.
Friends?
You don't have any.
You've just recently got a notification via email. You have 0 friends.
Nobody is trying to talk to you today.
No one's trying to email you. That'd be a great business offer right there.
Clementine's here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I just was making sure that I printed the right American flag.
The last number I heard you whisper was 11. You're like, yep, 13. And I was like, that can't be right.
Keenan's like, do you know counting?
It makes me think of the Kevin Costner Robin Hood, when they're setting up traps in the woods, and they're like, how many people? Oh, 13. He's like, there's only 6. It's a fight. He can't count anyway.
I don't know.
You've never seen that?
No. Sorry.
It's all right.
I feel like I've seen the Kevin Costner Robin Hood once.
Well, it takes a long time to finish that movie.
Does it?
It's like 3.5 hours.
Are you serious?
It's a full day. It's like watching Dune.
Never seen that.
Well, not many people have, I don't think.
Okay, we did our red stripes. I have dark values, I have medium values, I have light values. I mixed it all up. And now I'm gonna wait a second for it to dry before I remove the tape. So, okay, we're gonna remove the tape now. Wait, are we still recording? We good?
No, we're good.
Okay.
We're 100% good.
So when you remove the tape, you want to start from the side that's closest to the painting and pull away from the painting and do it very slowly and carefully. Oh, I still got some bleeding. Oh my gosh, I got a lot of bleeding. That's all right.
Kind of gives it that sketch look when it has the bleeding. I love that.
It does. I think sometimes it goes underneath the tape if the paint is super concentrated in that area, because I'm just looking at where it bled and that's a dark value area. Yep. And a little bit there too. I bet you that's what happened, but we'll see. A couple things that you can do to help with that is if you want to try and get the Mr. Clean Magic erasers are actually really wonderful with watercolor. Just be gentle when you start to rub because it will disintegrate the paper. Honestly, what I would do in this situation personally is I would just scan it in Photoshop and clean it up. That's what I do. But I like to make prints of my work, so. Or another thing that I would do if it was the original is I would actually just adjust the line to be higher all the way across. Just move it taller and cover up that area. That's what I would do. Okay, keep going. Yep, see that bled there? That's where it was concentrated. Okay. Look at all this stuff I'm learning. Okay. The reason why you want to pull away is because of this. If this does rip, it won't rip my painting because it will pull away from the painting. Because sometimes this painter's tape, even though it is painter's tape, still rips your paper. And I just would rather have this side tiny ripped than have my actual painting ripped. Yep. So interesting. So then what I would suggest is then if you're going to do dark values, keep them maybe more in the center of the strip, and or just not use painter's tape actually, because you can see like here I used a really dark value, but I like outlined it with water first and then dropped in the color, and so it stayed there.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It must have been the tape that soaked it up.
I wonder if the tape soaked up the water when it was moist, and then when I dropped in the color, that's why it went into that wet area. I don't know.
That's kind of cool.
Okay, so this is our American flag. Ooh, maybe you could even play with the, never mind. Okay, so that's it. You guys did an awesome job. I know that this project was pretty straightforward. However, I think that even these straightforward projects you can use to your advantage and, you know, familiarize yourself with paintbrushes, different ways to use them, using the side, using the tip, getting small marks, getting big marks. Also, I just like being able to make things that I can frame in my house for the holidays or give to somebody or whatever, and this is just one of those things where you guys can absolutely do this project, and it's a great gift to give someone. So you're wonderful. I can't wait to see what yours looks like. Of course, you can make it your own, and you can do a bunch of different things. I'm sure we'll see different versions, which I love. Tag us on Instagram. You can hashtag Let's Make Art or tag us in it, which is Let's Go Make Art. We have a wonderful Facebook community that's separate from our business page called Let's Make Art Watercolor. And it's like at 24,000 people. It's huge, but it's very supportive, very encouraging. And also it's a great place just to look to see how people are doing the same projects you are, or even some stuff they're working on personally. So if you're not comfortable sharing your work, but you want to start putting yourself out there, that's a great place to start. I think that's all I gotta say. If you need any of these things, paint, kits, outlines, brushes, palettes, you can get them at letsmakeart.com. That's it. Bye.